The type of systems, I didn't necessarily have all the systems laid out here, but there are about 4 types of systems that exist in the solar market. There is grid tied, which means that you can tie to the grid. You produce, that's pretty much for a residential or commercial site, and you produce that electricity and you use it. So whatever electricity you have, whatever is being produced by solar is going to be absorbed in first and foremost. And then in excess, you're going to use your utility. If you're in the southern Maryland area, we have our utility company is called SMECO. And you would just pretty much are trying to offset, really, is what's happening. The part of the systems that are contained in a grid-tied system is a grid-tied inverter, and it has to match with the modules that you size it with. You can't have a really, really small inverter and have a big system. You have to be able to match what voltage is coming out of your solar array. And then the second type of system that we also do is a grid tie with battery backup. So if the grid was to shut down, you have capability to still have power. The first one you don't. This second one with battery backup, you have the capability to have power when the lights are out. The third type of system is off-grid, and a lot of people love this concept of off-grid because you don't have to pay your utility bills anymore, so that's pretty exciting. But that's kind of a harder situation to do if you already have a home that already gets power from the utility lines. It's hard to really convert the whole house to just being off-grid. But these are great for like remote areas like a cabin, or like out in, if you're in Colorado in the mountains somewhere, or if you just want, or if you're building a new house and you're being very conscious about how you're going to build it, you can try to be off-grid, and that would be another source of doing it. The fourth type of systems are the utility size systems, and these systems are the larger systems that are for communities, and they usually are at the power plants or solar farms. So you just have a big arrays of solar, and they're just going to, just like you would have for a power plant, pretty much. That's the other type. These are just some like, this is just showing you without batteries, the type inverter, what it looks like. So just a picture of that. In the state of Maryland, and mostly a lot of the mid-Atlantic area, and in California and Colorado, there's net metering. And net metering is being able to tie to the grid, and there's a lot of paperwork, mostly in Maryland has a lot of paperwork, every state has a lot of paperwork that you have to do, but that's a pain in the butt too. But what it allows you to do is that you're allowed to put a solar electric system up, and you're allowed to tie to whatever utility company that it may be. So then you're able to have, I could just read that, I guess you guys can read that too, but it's just, you don't have any storage, it's just, whatever you use, you use it first, and you're able, if you have excess power, you're able to spin the meter backwards, and a lot of people love to see that. But in the state of Maryland, there's a net meter, and what happens is you don't have that spinning meter anymore, now it's a digital meter. And what's so great about the net meter is if you were to have the SREX like I talked before, you can actually see what you're producing, and that's a good thing to have that net meter because it allows the utility company to value your RECs, to value your system. And so there's a lot of benefits to having the net meter, and it's great that the state of Maryland does have metering because it just allows you to be actually using solar and not being charged or getting fined for it. So that's a great thing about it. The life expectancy of these modules, a lot of people ask that question too. And most of this presentation is just basing it on a residential aspect. A lot of just the consumers like you guys that are looking into doing solar. And a lot of the questions are about how long do these modules last? And their life is about 25 years. Most module manufacturers have a 25-year warranty. And you can expect the modules to last even longer than that. And for example, our system, we just don't preach about it, we also do it. In our system, we have a 2.4 kW system, but we've had our system up about 7 or 8 years ago. And it's been doing great, and you're on a tracker system, so we do have a moving part where our system does track the sun wherever it may go. So we do have maybe parts, but we have not had any problems. It's a really low maintenance system, and you just let it do what it needs to do. The inverters have about, that's probably a little bit wrong, about 5 to, and some have 5 to 10 year, and then some of them have a 15-year warranty. It just depends on what manufacturer that you're getting it from. And the most of them that we use SMA inverters. I don't know if you guys heard of these. And we use Fronius inverters, are the type of inverters that we use. And for the grid side with battery backup or the off-grid systems, we use an Outback system. It's a very robust system that deals with having batteries, and that's what you have to size a system correctly to have battery backup with that. And also, a lot of people ask the question, are these modules, do they withstand hail? Are they fragile? And well, we would just say, really, no. They're just like having your car sitting outside. It's a tempered glass. So they really stand really, really well in whatever weather that it may happen. I mean, it could happen. We haven't had any problems with any of our systems that we've done with any, tree hitting it or hail hitting it and cracking it. And our systems, we do have a warranty within our contract, and then also we have a maintenance contract if that's what our customers would like. For solar, the biggest thing is I could just put it anywhere. Well, that's not necessarily true if you have a roof application. You don't necessarily want it on the north side of the roof. You're looking for a southern roof or a southern application to get its most potential throughout the year. And the biggest enemy to solar is shading. So you want a location that does not have a lot of shading issues from about a 9 to 4 period or 9 to 3 period. And we do systems that there may be a little bit shading, but we wire the systems so that it prevents that shading to actually influence on our systems. So we do have ways where we systems design it and engineer it so that make sure that we don't have those kind of problems with shading, because that is takes the production way, way down, and not necessary for those systems. But also with solar, you can have an east to west location, but you wouldn't want to tie it with your southern location. So you can have an east to west location for solar, but you won't expect the production to be as high as the southern location, but it does do well. Mounting solar can be mounted on the roof, like I said before, ground, pole. It could be an awning off of the home or a commercial site. It could be, integrated. BIPV is integrated PV. It's just building integrated PV into a building. And I have some pictures of that. It could be a car lot. I think I've seen a lot of people that have electric cars, and it wouldn't make sense just to plug them into a coal driving plant. So instead, why not use renewable sources? So having a carport with solar might be another way of mounting a system, and you just have somewhere to plug it in. And I have some pictures of that. This first picture is called a solar tree. We didn't do that project, but it's designed on top of a 3-car level lot, and it's right, and the pole is designed to fit on there. The weight, they figured out, the engineered the weight for the system, and I don't remember how big of the system it was, but you can see that it shades some of the cars, and if they had some outlets for it, somebody could pull up and plug it in for their electric car. The other one is a carport on that side right there, and it's just another application of how you can mount solar modules. And the one that you can see that look like skylights, they are skylights, but they're building integrated PV systems, so you're still getting the daylighting that you would need in a home, and you're getting electricity too. So that's kind of a neat project to do.